Hey, 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 happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at the Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. And we're celebrating our 10th year. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. So, things are cooking, got a lot going on. Tonight is Tuesday, November 19th, 2019. This is episode 395 of the Daily Dope. So, this is a live stream. This is the first time you've actually joined me for the show, regardless if it's live or on Memorex. If you are watching live, there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you've got a quick question or a comment, by all means, fire away. I will respond. So also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. And if you do, don't forget, ring that little bell, because not only will it notify you of when this stream goes live, it'll also tell you when my standalone videos are uploaded as well. I've got a couple new ones that popped up last night. I'll talk about those in just a moment. And of course, if you like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. And now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. So the Madman is the first up in chat. Good to see you, Madman. Thanks for popping in. So as mentioned, I've got two new videos that are up, and they are both reviews, and they are both Dungeons and Dragons related because these hit stores today. I've got a review of Dungeons and Dragons versus Rick and Morty. So this is essentially a starter set because there is a starter rule book, and then there is a Rick and Morty infused adventure that's included as well. Gotta point out, I really like the dice that came with it. These dice are very, very cool. I know if I hold it closer up to the camera, it's gonna come out of focus. So this kind of yellowish with this kind of teal ink paint, really. I like it. The numbers really do pop. So very, very cool. I definitely dig the dice. I like these dice better than the dice box set that I received for Descent in Avernus. I mean, those dice are pretty cool. It's just they just don't pop like these. Kind of weird. Anyway, so I've got that review up. Also, I've got the review for Eberron Rising from the Ashes. This is the new supplement for D&D, 320 pages packed full of info about this setting. I've already got people complaining about my review, which is not unusual. I'm used to that. So, but you know what? If you're going to argue with me about something, then you should understand the definition of what that thing is. So when I say that Eberron is not a noir setting, I understand what noir is. Don't tell me just because they say in the book that this is a noir setting that it is. Anyway, so take that out, bring it on. But I do like both of them, so I don't know what people are complaining about. What was just because I have some minor critiques about them, and really the main reason why the score isn't higher for the Dungeons and Dragons versus Rick and Morty is because it's essentially just another starter set. Even though, you know, it's Rick and Morty, if you're already into D&D and you kind of like Rick and Morty, I don't really see it as a must-have. So, Flaming Huron's here too. Good to see you, Flaming Huron. So, also, since tomorrow's Wednesday, I'm trying to get back to doing some like Wargame Wednesday-ish things, even though I don't feature it on the show. I will have some new videos up, probably after the show, but I will be sharing a first look at the turn zero rules and cards and kind of promos for Twilight Struggle from my pals over at GMT Games. Pretty cool. I love me my Twilight Struggle. And I will be unboxing Stalingrad 42, also from GMT Games. This will obviously be a bit longer video than the Twilight Struggle. I figure the Twilight Struggle is probably going to be about 10 minutes long, maybe, the first look. So Kevin Thorpe is in chat with us too. Good to see you, Kevin. Back-to-back nights. Sweet. So let's see what's going on here. So Flaming Heron says, I saw Eberron on sale, both editions at the same price. So tempted to buy the special edition anyhow. I like the cover. I definitely think the special edition cover is pretty cool. And I have to say, pretty sweet that they're offering it at the same price. Because normally what'll happen is that that limited edition alternate cover that's only available in game stores and in limited numbers, obviously, it's usually 2 or 3 times as much. In fact, what did I just see? I think it was Ghosts of Saltmarsh. I saw the alternate cover is going for like, I think I saw like an eBay auction for like $125. I was like, what? I mean, it's a cool cover and all, but I mean, come on. Anywho, so let's jump on into the news. I've got some decent news pieces, kind of shorter news pieces, and I wish I had more images for a lot of these because some of them have just been announced. So Flaming Heron says their local game store is charging the same price that they paid rather than passing the buck on to the customer. That's cool. Not every game store does that. Those are the game stores that you really do want to support. So when I say friendly local game store, that is a friendly local game store. From my experience, not every game store is like that. In fact, just from my experience, I'd say about 20% of the game stores that I had any involvement with would I consider a friendly local game store. The rest were kind of like, whatever, we're just here to make money. If you happen to live in the Phoenix area, Imperial Outpost was a store that I really thought was a really good store. They cared about their customers. They didn't try to rip them off. Hopefully things haven't changed. Anyway, let's move on into the news because kicking off is a Kickstarter from Calliope Games. They just launched one today. It's to bring gamers a new and updated edition of Station Master. Here's the dope. We are thrilled to bring back this classic card game of building trains and managing passengers. Originally published by Mayfair Games in 2004, Station Master. I need a sip down here. There we go. Now I can maybe talk. Maybe. Originally published by Mayfair Games in 2004, Station Master has long been favored for its high player interaction, clever decisions, and fun gameplay. We couldn't think of a better way to continue Calliope Games' 10-year anniversary celebration than by refreshing and publishing one of our favorite games. So we welcome you to the launch of the new and improved Station Master. For some reason, I just want to start doing Station from Bill and Ted. Station! Station Master is a train-themed card game for 2 to 6 players. In the game, players are working at the station, attaching rail cars to locomotives and boarding passengers on trains, trying to score the most efficiency points to win. We have restored this timeless train game, creating stunning all-new artwork based on classic locomotives, rail cars, and railroad history. In addition, we have refined and streamlined the rules for modern audiences, as well as adding in upgrades and new material to create the greatest possible Station Master experience. That sounds kind of important, doesn't it? There is a quick, it's about 2 minutes, Kickstarter video from Calliope Games. Let's jump on in and give it a peek.
I'm Ray Weirs, and I want to welcome you to the Kickstarter for our newest game, Station Master. Calliope Games began about 10 years ago, and in that time we brought you Sorrow, Roll For It, Hive Mind, and over a dozen other great games. Now I'm very excited to publish my very favorite game of all time, Station Master. Station Master is a card game for 2 to 6 players filled with tons of player interaction. During the game, locomotives are lined up at the station, and on your turn you will choose a train and either add a rail car or board a passenger pawn. Action cards can also be played to help yourself or to mess up others. Players influence values of trains with the rail cars they add to them. When a train is completed, it pulls away from the station, and players will reveal their passenger pawns and score their points. Station Master was first released in 2004 and ranks as one of the top 100 greatest train games of all time on Board Game Geek. With this Kickstarter, we will be releasing a beautiful new rendition of this fantastic game. Pledge today and you will get the best possible Station Master experience full of stunning original artwork. We've also included brand new cards, updates, and gameplay improvements that make the game even more fun than ever before. Whether you're a fan of the original Station Master, a train enthusiast, or just one who enjoys playing really great games, I want to thank you for checking out this campaign, and I hope you will pledge today for your very own copy of my favorite game, Station Master.
Station Master is for 2 to 6 players ages 8 and up. Plays in around 30 to 50 minutes. You can reserve a copy of the standard game on this Kickstarter for a $25 pledge, or get the deluxe edition with upgraded components for a $30 pledge. This project will run until December 12th. Expected delivery is May of next year. When I took a peek earlier, well, this was earlier this afternoon, so it had not been running for very long. They were at about 50% funding. So they may have actually finished, they may have hit their goal today. I don't know, because it was probably, about 7 hours ago that I took a peek, maybe 6-7 hours ago. So I had to laugh though, because in the video it says, voted as one of the top 100 train games of all time. And it's sort of like, okay, but how many train games have there been? 200? Maybe 300 tops? I mean, come on, it's sort of like voted in one of the top 500 cyberpunk games ever created. It's like, what? Hey, I'm not saying this isn't a good game. Just saying, yeah, I thought that was kind of funny how they mentioned that. So anyway, Kevin is talking about my local game store sucks. Unless you play those fantasy card games or 5e, which I don't. So it says, lots of board games, though. Well, then it can't be that bad. But I mean, as far as, are you talking about, Kevin, are you talking about the store isn't very good because there's no open gaming devoted to board gaming? Because I don't see that a ton. I don't see that a lot. Usually I do see it's role-playing stuff. It's either, D&D or it's Pathfinders. A little bit of Call of Cthulhu now. Or it's Magic. A lot of Magic going on. Sometimes WizKids with Hero Clicks. But as far as, open gaming, most stores have gotten away from that. And I was told by a couple of game store owners who were not owners of what I would consider to be friendly local game stores that it wasn't worth their time to just do open board game night. Okay, I guess you don't know how to make money, which actually they didn't. Their stores didn't do that very well. And the Madman has been happy enough to provide us with an update on Station Master. It is currently at 64% funding. It's not too shabby for the first few hours, right? So, Madman says, my friendly local game store has role-playing and board games, family game nights, Magic Gathering nights, all kinds of stuff. That's sweet. That's very nice. That is very, very cool. So, and Kevin says they're trying to organize a Cthulhu game in their own store. Yes, always good to see a nice mix of different games. Do want to mention, talking about game stores and that, I saw a game store. I think it was Madison, Wisconsin, maybe it was Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I saw a little news piece that after 39 years, they closed their doors this weekend. And it was not that they weren't, pulling in money. It was that the owner just wanted to retire and said that the hobby had kind of, and the gamers had passed her by. So, I don't know. Kind of sad to see, a store that's been around for like 39 years. One of these days, I'm going to have to go drive over to, I want to say it's Mount Prospect, Illinois, which is like northwest of Chicago. And there was a store there, Games Plus, that I used to go to quite a lot, especially after Emperor's headquarters closed. Wonder if they're still there, because I know they moved their location, but I haven't been there probably in 10 years. I should check it out. I should take a look. And yes, Kevin, I'm right with you. That's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. In the little bit of an interview that I saw where they were talking to the owner, the owner seemed, okay, now, I don't know this woman from Eve, right? I am not trying to imply anything, but just the way the reporting was sort of like they were kind of like, get off my lawn, young gamers, kind of. And I don't know if that's actually how she meant things or what. It's kind of the impression that I got. And that is the case with some of these game stores that have been around for a long time. One out in Arizona, I'm not going to name what store it is. I don't know if it's still there or not. It was in Mesa. And their owners were trying to dump that store for a long time. And they didn't have any buyers. And of course, they were miserable. They hated having the store as far as I know. So, I don't know. Hey, Beat Cafe is popping in. And yes, Games Plus is still there. I'll have to pop in. I'll have to take a look. There is a cool store in Plainfield, Illinois. It's not too far from here that I've popped over to a couple of times. In fact, I interviewed the owner over there. And it's the Dragon something. I forget what it is. Dragon's Flagon, I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong. It's the Dragon something. Anyway, but it's a pretty cool store, Plainfield, Illinois. All right, let's move on into our next news piece. Because the war gamers out there will be happy to know Osprey Games is planning on releasing their second title in the Undaunted lineup. And here's a bit of dope about Undaunted North Africa. The Undaunted series continues with this 2-player deck-building game of tactical combat, pitting the Raiders of Britain's long-range desert group against the Italian forces in the North African theater of World War II. Italians? All right. The North African campaign has begun. Take control of the British Army's long-range desert group and operate behind enemy lines or command the formidable Italian forces opposing them. Formidable? Really? In Undaunted North Africa, a sequel to Undaunted Normandy, players once again lead their sides through a varied series of missions. As casualties mount, wounded soldiers leave the players' decks, forcing them to adapt in the face of changing tactical circumstances. Use your cards to strengthen your forces, deploy vehicles to advance rapidly across the battlefield, and seize the initiative as you determine the outcome of the North African theater. Undaunted North Africa will be for 2 players, ages 14 and up, playing around 45 to 60 minutes, but no word yet on MSRP. I'm going to guess it's going to be in line with the first game in the series, Normandy, so we're probably looking at about $40. It is going to arrive in May of next year. Kabuki Kid is in the house. Good to see you, Double K. I have not played Undaunted Normandy. I have reached out to Osprey to try to review it. Don't know. Although the funny thing is, they sent me the 2 new role-playing game books that come out next month. So, I don't know. But I have heard mixed things about Undaunted Normandy. I heard some people really dig it. Heard other people not too keen on it. So that's one of the reasons why I want to check it out, because this could be a fairly complex kind of card game, and people who are not liking it are probably thinking, oh well, I thought it's just a card game. It's a World War II card game. Well, maybe not. Don't know. I have no clue. Moving right along. Next month is going to see the release of the latest Aeon's End expansion from Indie Boards and Cards. I've got a wee bit of dope. An ancient nameless has begun moving north, spreading death and decay wherever it goes. Only 2 of the youngest mages see it coming. A boy from the woods who speaks to the plants, and a girl deeply connected with a wild beast. Aeon's End Into the Wild expands the base Aeon's End cooperative deck building game. It includes 1 Nemesis mat and card divider, 2 Mage player mats, 17 Nemesis cards, 40 player cards, 18 treasure cards, and a new story continued from the Aeon's End The New Age narrative. Into the Wild contains a continuation of the story with new narrative expedition, 1 new Nemesis, and 2 new Breach mages, as well as new gems, relics, treasures, and minions. Aeon's End Into the Wild is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around an hour, and will carry an MSRP of $19.99 when it arrives on December 12th. A lot of stuff popping out on December 12th. This is another item that is hitting stores on December 12th. I played the core Aeon's End, really dug it. I did a review of it as well. I have not seen any of the expansions. I have not checked out the New Age either. I have just checked out the core game and definitely dug it. I liked it a lot. Also arriving on December 12th is the Jumbo 20th Anniversary Edition of Big City from Mercury Games, and I've got the dope. The original city building game Big City returns to print in a 20th Anniversary Jumbo Edition with buildings 33% larger than the original game and revised property trading rules. In Big City, players acquire cards in 8 different neighborhoods, then use them to lay out buildings either 1, 2, or 3 spaces large. The points they receive for a given building is a base score, plus bonuses for the buildings surrounding it. Someone must play City Hall, scoring no points for themselves, in order for anyone to start placing any structure beyond the simple residences and buildings and businesses. This edition also includes some differences from the original, including the redevelopment phase, escalating City Hall points, an early endgame, and new waterfront tiles, and a Titan gameplay for 2 to 4 players. Big City 20th Anniversary Jumbo Edition is for 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, plays in around 60 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of, wait for it, get ready, here we go, $150 when it arrives, as I mentioned before, on December 12th. This better be one massive box for $150. Now, I'm not saying this isn't a good game. This does look interesting, and I think it's kind of cool how it's got all these little buildings and things like that. But it's $150 for a game that plays in about an hour. So, yikes. And plus, I'm going to take a guess you're going to have a really big table to squeeze all this stuff onto. All right, moving right along, my final news piece regards a new bundle of holding just launched today. I've got the dope on the World Builders Toolkit number 3. Adventurer. We've resurrected our World Builders Toolkit 3, the December 2015 installment in this popular series, presenting game mastering texts that help... Oh, where did that go? Help you create and run a tabletop role-playing campaign. For just $9.95, you get all 3 titles in the Revived Offers Starter Collection, which has a retail value of $50, as PDFs, including Never Unprepared, where Gnome Stews. I need a sip here. What is going on here? Boy, it's like start stumbling over words here. Let's try this again. Included is Never Unprepared, where Gnome Stews Phil Vachon shows how to prepare games faster, avoid pitfalls, and have a more relaxed kind of fun. I don't know. Relaxed kind of fun. Do people have intense sort of fun role-playing game? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Although I have to admit, there have been some moments in my Call of Cthulhu adventures over the years that have been really intense. But we're still pretty relaxed playing. Also includes 2 volumes in the Magical Society series from Expeditious Retreat Press, Ecology and Culture, map your world using tectonics, ecological conflict, and historical patterns or cultural development, and Silk Road. Next, develop realistic overland trade routes and a trade system with over 1,000 goods. It's a little much. And if you pay more than this offer's threshold price of $18, that's a pretty low threshold. Nobody rolled the percentile dice to add some change to it. That's weird. Normally we don't see just a blanket threshold price of this many dollars, $18. Anyway, you'll level up and also get this Revival's entire bonus collection with 5 more titles worth an additional $52.50. There's Unframed, the art of improvisation for game masters. Improvise like someone who thinks really fast, with these essays from Jason Morningstar, Emily Kerboss, Robin D. Laws, and others. Game Mastering Secrets. This treatise on becoming an amazing GM covers everything from choosing a game system to closing out a long-running campaign. Features articles by Matt Forbeck, Kenneth Haidt, and other star designers, with Dork Tower comic strips by John Kovalik. Does Ken Haidt run games? I don't know. I've met Kenneth. I've met him twice. So, I don't know. I don't know if he actually... I don't know. Usually he's just writing stuff, doesn't he? Anyway. Here we go. Flaming Huron says, the price increases given time. The more people buy. But it's $18.39. Somebody left out the 39 cents, it looks like. Also included, an echo resounding. Kevin Crawford, Stars Without Number, gives practical tools to create empires, run mass combats, and transform ordinary adventurers and adventurers into monarchs and monarchies. GM Mastery, NPC Essentials. John 4 of Role-Playing Tips shows how to interject life into your non-player characters. Something I never have any problem with. On the naming of places. Another treatise in the Magical Society series. You can save through December 9th. And of course, don't forget 10% of your payment after payment gateway fees will be donated to these 2 toolkit offers, because there is a toolkit I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Yes, another bundle of holding that launched today. Anyway, the designated charity for these bundles are the Electronic Frontier Foundation. So there you have it. I have to be honest, I have never run. My head's not in it tonight. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Burned out from those 2 reviews I had to crank out. That's it. I have never read a book about game mastery. Never. Ever. I guarantee there's plenty of really cool stuff out there. I don't know. I've never, needed to... I almost said stoop. I don't want to say that. I've never resorted to using, tips and tricks and stuff like that. I usually, I can improvise pretty well. And I can game pretty well on the fly. Flaming Heron's asking if these are for systems or systems agnostic. I believe they're mainly system agnostic. I know one of the images I was showing showed Labyrinth Lord, which, I mean, Labyrinth Lord is essentially a retro clone of AD&D, isn't it? Yeah, AD&D. So, Kevin Thorpe says, my players always know when things get intense. I start walking around the table. I used to do that sometimes too. Sometimes, especially if they were like, especially if I was like playing the villain at that point in time. Yeah, sometimes I'd like get up, kind of walk around the table a bit. They'd be like, So, all right, so there you have it. That's it for tonight's news. So, as I mentioned, if you missed the opening of the show, got some videos going to pop up tomorrow. I'm trying to do some war game stuff on Wednesdays. Get back to a little bit of a war game Wednesday-ish feel. Not on the Daily Dove, but on the channel itself. So I will be unboxing and taking a first look at Stalingrad 42 from GMT Games. I will also be unboxing and taking, I shouldn't say unboxing, unwrapping and taking a first look at the zero-turn rules for Twilight Struggle, as well as some promo items that did arrive. Hey, Will Burton's showing up. Hi, Will. Will's catching the show live for a change, although just catching the last few minutes of the show, but good to see you joining us in chat, Will. Anyway, so those videos should be up tomorrow night after the show, but last night I did post my review for Eberron Rising from the Last War, the new supplement for D&D, 320 pages, and this came out in stores today. So my review was out before it went into stores. And I also reviewed the Dungeons & Dragons versus Rick and Morty box set, which is essentially a starter set for Dungeons & Dragons, which includes a Rick and Morty flavored adventure as well. So if you have not checked out those reviews, please do. Gotta say, my page through video for Eberron has almost cracked 10,000 views in a week. That's something different around here. So I think the most views on any video I have is 16,000 and change on I want to say it was Panzer from GMT. My review I did of that quite a while back. So, anyway, if you get a chance, be sure to check out those videos. One other thing I was going to mention is a couple of people have privately reached out through email asking, hey, how can they help spread the word about the Gaming Gang and the Gaming Gang channel? And it's like, well, you can tweet stuff, you retweet stuff if you're on Twitter, or, I do have the Facebook page, which Facebook doesn't show anybody anything what I post. I think they show like 5% of the people that actually follow the page. 5% of them get to see what I post. They want you to pay. That's the whole deal. But I'll tell you what I did realize. There were a couple of Reddit posts about the page through for Eberron that people had just popped out there. And that's driven about half the traffic. I was like, what? Like, holy cow. So, if you are on Reddit, if you use Reddit quite a lot, share the word. You can repost, an episode of the show or something. That's how you can probably help out the most, is just tell your friends, tell people online. You don't have to do anything crazy. So that's it for today's episode. Of course, if you like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. If you do, don't forget, ring that little bell, because not only will it notify you when the stream goes live, it'll tell you when my reviews and first looks and page through videos get posted. And of course, when you aren't watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody who hung out in chat, thank you very much for popping in. Will got a chance to catch the show live for a change. Good to see you, Will. Thanks for popping in. So always appreciate people hanging out in chat, because then I don't feel like a doofus. I'm a doofus anyway, but I don't feel like a doofus sitting here just talking to nobody. And of course, if you watch after the fact, I love you guys too. I appreciate everybody who takes some time out to check out the channel. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. I will be back tomorrow. And of course, until then, happy trails. Doobity-bity-bity-boo-boo. Zoobity-bity-bity-boo. Zabba-dabba-dabba-dabba-bum. Zibbit. Whoa, hey. I didn't realize that you were still here. Well, if that's the case, then allow me to share the following information with you that I only have 20 seconds to do. So let's all take a deep breath. So, if you would like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, please click right here. If you want to check out the latest episode of the Daily Dope, click right here. And if you'd like to check out a randomly selected standalone video, by all means, click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thanks for watching.